Okay, so let's be real, learning French can sometimes feel like you're trying to crack some kind of secret code, right? Well, one of the first big puzzles everyone bumps into is negation. But I promise, it just seems complicated. Today, we're going to crack that code and find this super simple pattern behind it all. Let's do this.
All right, so the big question on everyone's mind is always this. Why on earth do you need two words, ne and pas, just to say not? It seems so extra. Well, fun fact, way back in Old French, all you needed was ne. That was it. But you know how people talk, they started adding extra words for emphasis. And one of those words was pas, which literally means a step. So it was like saying, I'm not walking a step. Over time, that extra word just kind of stuck around and became the standard partner for ne.
And this is the secret weapon. Seriously, if you can remember this one simple idea, you are golden. Think of it like a sandwich. The ni and the pas, they're the bread. And the verb you want to negate, that's the filling, right in the middle. Just remember the negation sandwich, and trust me, you've already won half the battle.
So, first things first, let's really nail down this whole ne pas sandwich idea. This simple structure is the absolute foundation for pretty much all negation in French. Get this down, and everything else gets way easier. You know, the formula itself is actually incredibly simple once you see it laid out. It's always in this order. You have your subject, then the first piece of bread, ne, then your verb, the filling, and then you close it off with pas. It's a consistent pattern, so let's see how it works with some real examples. Okay, let's see this thing in the wild. Look how the verb is just perfectly trapped, or, sandwiched in every single one of these. Je ne parle pas français. I do not speak French. See, parle is right there in the middle. Elle ne travaille pas aujourd'hui. She is not working today. Bam, travail is sandwiched. And nous ne mangeons pas le riz. We are not eating the rice. The verb is always the filling. It's that simple.
All right, there's one tiny little tweak you got to remember, but it's an easy one. If your verb happens to start with a vowel or one of those silent H's, the ne gets a little shy and drops its E. It just becomes N. This is really just to make it all flow better when you say it out loud. So instead of a clunky je n'aime pas, you get this really smooth je n'aime pas le café. It's a small change, but man, it makes you sound so much more natural.
Okay, so you've got the basic sandwich down. Awesome. Now, let's level up. What happens if we swap out one of the ingredients? If we take out pas and put in plus instead, we can totally change the meaning of the sentence.
So here's the deal. Pas is just your standard, everyday not. It's a simple denial. But plus, oh, that one's got a story to tell. It adds a sense of time. It means not anymore or no longer. It's telling you that something used to happen, but now it's stopped.
So, for instance, if you say je ne mange pas, it's just a simple statement of fact about right now. I am not eating. That's it. Nothing more to it.
But now, just switch out that one little word, and bam, the meaning completely changes. Je ne mange plus. This implies a backstory. You used to eat, but now you've stopped. I am not eating anymore. It's pretty cool how much power is packed into that tiny word, right?
All right, listen up, because this is a real pro tip. This is going to save you from one of the most common mistakes I see beginners make. There's this special little rule that kicks in, but only when you're making a negative sentence with the verb avoir, which, as you know, means to have. So let's break it down step by step. You start with a positive sentence, something like elle a des amis, which means she has some friends. Now, when you make it negative, watch this. The articles a, une, and de, they all do this little magic trick and transform into de or d. So it becomes elle n'a pas d'amis. She does not have any friends. The de just became d.
And this is super important, so listen close. This special de rule, it's pretty much only for the verb avoir. It does not happen with the verb être, to be. So you'd say, je n'ai pas de sandwich, notice that de, but you'd say, ce n'est pas un sandwich. See how the article un didn't change at all? Remembering that one difference is huge.
All right, time to play Spot the Mistake. Let's look at all the creative ways people manage to mess up our beautiful negation sandwich, so you don't have to make the same mistakes.
Okay, first up, a classic. What's wrong here? Well, the ne and the pas are stuck together right at the beginning. That's like putting both pieces of bread on top of the sandwich. That's not a sandwich, that's just bread. It doesn't work. And here's another common one. Putting the verb before the negation. Again,
Think about our sandwich. You wouldn't put the turkey on the outside of the bread, would you? The verb has to go in the middle.
And this last one, oh boy. Here's something else has snuck inside the sandwich between the verb and the pa. Nope, the ne and pa have to hug that verb directly. No intruders allowed. And ta-da! Here it is in all its glory, the perfect sandwich. Je ne parle pas français. The verb parle is tucked in there perfectly. So the main takeaway, the sandwich is sacred. You never, ever break the sandwich.
Whew, okay, that was a lot. So let's wrap it all up with a handy little cheat sheet for you. These are the absolute essentials you need to walk away with.
Okay, here are the absolute must-knows. First, negation is a frame, a sandwich, right around the verb. Second, if that verb is avoir, remember to change your articles, un, une, des, to de. Third, remember that that rule doesn't apply to être. Fourth, if you want to say not anymore, you just swap pas for plus. And one last little bonus tip for you. In real, everyday spoken French, you'll almost always hear people drop the ne. But, and this is a big but, for your exams or any formal writing, you have to use ne. Always.
So let's think back to the beginning. Before this, maybe you didn't quite get French negation. It probably seemed a little weird, a little complicated. But now? How do you feel now? Once you see it's just a simple sandwich with a couple of special toppings, that code suddenly becomes much, much easier to crack.